Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the process. I'm gonna give y'all this one right now while it's still fresh on the brain. I'm always looking for deals, especially in the real estate realm, in the stock market realm, but that moves a little faster. But I'm always looking for deals to make stuff happen. And today I just got off the call. Some people gonna laugh at this, but I just want to let y'all know, give you an update. I've talked about how in previous videos, even on the lives on Saturday. And for all you people out there, join the lives on Saturday. That's when you get to ask the questions that you want to know the answers to. I'm there as long as you allow me to be there and you ask the questions, I'll provide the answers to you. But that's every Saturday at noon. So please join the live for that. But I talked about a couple lives ago and a couple videos ago that I believe that the housing market for 2025 for the spring and summer buying season would be a dud. Meaning a dud, meaning that there will not be a lot of transactions. I didn't say the housing prices would drop. I just said it will not be a lot of transactions. And so far, so good. That's where we at. I also said during that time, you got to study history to understand what's going on, because even years ago, I was talking about we're moving into a stagflation economy, especially when Jerome Powell in 22 at Jackson Hole said that they was going to start raising rates aggressively. It put us in a stagflation economy where the rates are higher and then growth is doing little or nothing, but unemployment is dropping. And we talked about different nuances on, we've had a repeat of that in history, especially in the hyperinflation environment in the late 70s, early 80s, but transactions were still happening. So when I looked up that date range, I noticed that a lot of transactions was going on outside of the normal banking structure that we're used to, meaning conventional loans, FHA loans, or what have you, but deals were still getting done. And I was looking to see how was the deals getting done, i.e. assumptions, seller financing, bartering, different things like that. Bartering meaning, hey, I got a house over here, I'll sell you that house for your house, and we flip flop and things like that. So those different things was going. So I studied the histories to know what I can do in each economic environment. So we've talked about it many times on this channel, how I will be looking for creative financing deals for the foreseeable future. And for the past 2 years, every deal I've done has been on seller finance or creative financing structure. I found a triplex that they agreed to seller financing. Now, how you get them to agree to seller financing, that's a whole nother video. It'll take too long for this video. I like to keep them short and sweet so we can get to the point, but I'll do another video on how that happens. But this was a regular deal that was on the MLS. This wasn't no super secret deal that nobody knew about. It was sitting on the MLS, and then I talked to the seller's agent, and we got a seller finance deal. I got it under contract. And this is always my plan. I knew the property needed some rehab, but it had tenants in there. So, of course, I scheduled a virtual walkthrough with the agent, because usually out of town investments, I don't just drive up there just to do a walkthrough. So I will do virtual walkthrough. So we'll have an inspector inspect it, even though it's a seller finance deal. That's what I do. And then in this particular time, which was literally about 3 hours ago, I had my contractor go also and walk through the property to just try to give me a ballpark figure of what it will take to get this place to my standard. And I wanted him to walk the property with the agent to see what he's looking at and saying, hey, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. Because my ulterior motive with that is, okay, we agreed to a price initially on the contract, but during my due diligence period, I get to see what the cost is of the rehab. And then if the price of the home plus my rehab doesn't meet the benchmark of the budget that I want to spend for this property, and I know the rental rates in the area, then it's just a deal I wouldn't do, especially if the seller is not going to capitulate. So the reason why I had them all meet there at the same time with the inspector was because I wanted to show the seller's agent that I am doing real due diligence and I'm not just making up pricing and things like that. So right now I'm waiting for the contractor to send me my final number on the project. But my plan is to take that number, especially if it blows out my budget. I'm gonna take that number to the seller and then try to get them to take off, i.e. the price of the property, to get it within my budget realm. Or we can do some other things like change the interest rate percentage or what have you, just to make sure that the numbers work. And it's funny. And the reason why I say it's funny is because when you're doing these, especially virtual walkthroughs, you run into all different types of people, ways, shapes, and forms. Of course, when I call people, only thing they know is my voice. They don't know, who I am. I'm not running all over the world. I don't have billboards up there talking about I'm Kirby, I'm gonna buy your home. with my face all over it. But I reach out. I'm respectable. We have a conversation. We get to the brass tacks of it, of a price for a home that I'm willing to buy, and then I buy it. But in some parts of the country, they just, let's keep it real, they're not friendly to my kind. Funny, sometimes we do these walkthroughs, and the tenants, if they're around, they try to look to see who the new buyer is. So that was very interesting to see while that was going on. I'm trying to do the virtual walkthrough, but you see tenants trying to look on the screen on the realtor's phone just to see who they're talking to. And me, I'm not worried either way, because the true reality of it is, at the end of the day, they will never know who I am. From acquiring this property, I'll have my contractors improve the property, and then it will go to a property manager, which is local to that area, to do the everyday interactions. Me, my race, my creed, what I do, how I do it, it has no bearing to them. What they do, their race, their creed, their origin, has nothing to do with me. As long as I provide a sustainable way of life, a sustainable home that they're proud to live in, that they can live in very efficiently and effectively, that's the only thing I care about. What they do in their private life, or what they do in their unprivate life, flags and all that other stuff people have, that's not my problem. I don't sit there and discriminate because people have a certain feeling or a way about a certain different race of people. I don't. Only thing I care about at the end of the day is, do you pay your rent on time? Are you maintaining the property? Besides that, it don't matter. But it's still funny, to see, like rebel flags and God guns country flags and all that stuff. And it's just pretty fun. But besides that, as far as the deal goes, the deal, I think, and I truly believe that the deal will get done. Like I said, I'm just waiting on the numbers from my contractor. I'm going to send those to the seller agent, chalk down the numbers a little bit if I have to, if it exceeds the budget that I plan for the property. I believe that the seller is very open and hospitable to, he's really trying to do something. He's not just here for a quick flip. He's trying to make the area better. I think that deal will get done, but just wanted to update you on the progress on that triplex that I was working on, and let you know, still right now, 2025, summer 2025, it is still a good time to buy. But you cannot just buy blindly. You have to be able to understand the numbers, negotiate the deal, and get the best price for you. Right now, it is a buyer's market, meaning it's the time where buyers are able to negotiate the price down handsomely from the list price that these sellers have it at. Now, I know in the media world, they're saying, oh, right now, don't do nothing. The housing market's crazy. And I love that the news media is doing that, because it's scaring people away from the housing market. So it gives me more room to negotiate, because the demand for housing is not there. For the people that follow this channel, watch this channel, just know that this is your time to shine. Because once that interest rate drop, and then the demand pick up because the interest rate drop, prices of housing will go higher. Demand will go higher. I remember back in 2020, 2021, 2022, when I tried to approach people talking about seller finance, they laughed me out of water. Now I can come back to some of these same people, just a different property, but some of these same people, and offer seller finance, and they're more than happy to take it. I'm willing to offer assumptions, they're more than happy to take it. That I'm willing to offer subject to, they're more happy to take it. But a couple of years ago, it wasn't. You got to understand the environment you're in. Study history of different economic environments. So when it's your time to shine, you got to shine. You cannot listen to the outside noise. You've done the homework to get the deal across the finish line. Only thing is up to you is just to execute and do it. But with all that said, just wanted to give you an update on the triplex. Y'all have a good one. Please like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.